Kikatacharya Gyaya Kikata Swatantra Samata Kalpana Kare Deva Paratantra
Kehata acharya agya kehato swatantra
Kikata Acharya Gyaya Kikata Swatantra
Swamata kalpana kare deva paratantra
Samata Kalpana Kare Deva Paratantra
Krihota Acharya Agyaya Krihota Svatantra
Kikata Acharya Gyaya Kikata Swatantra
Bhavata Kalpana Kare Deva Paratantra
Samata Kalpana Kare Deva Paratantra
Kehata Acharya Agyaya Kehata Svatantra
Kikata Acharya Gyaya Kikata Swatantra
Swamata Kalpana Kare Daiva Paratantra
Samata Kalpana Kare Deva Paratantra Kikata Acharya Gyaya Kikata Swatantra Samata Kalpana Kare Deva Paratantra Kikata
Kehata
Sam
Sam
Acharya
Acharya
the spiritual master
the spiritual master
Agyaya
Agyaya
upon his order
upon his order
Kikata
Kehata
Sam
Sam
Swatantra
Swatantra
independently
independently
Swamata
Swamata
their own opinions
their own opinions
Kalpanata Kare
Kalpana Kare
they concoct
they concoct
Deva
Deva
Paratantra
Paratantra
under the spell of Maya.
under the spell of Maya.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Some of the disciples strictly accepted the orders of the Acharya and others deviated, independently concocting their own opinions under the spell of Devi Maya. Purport. This verse describes the beginning of a schism. When disciples do not stick to the principle of accepting the order of their spiritual master, immediately there are two opinions. Any opinion different from the opinion of the spiritual master is useless. One cannot infiltrate materially concocted ideas into spiritual advancement. That is deviation. There is no scope for adjusting spiritual advancement to material ideas. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadate Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Behivasha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. This very interesting part of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami explains different branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya. And he mentions how the tree of Advaitacharya is one of the biggest branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya. And but it's very significant that although we know that Advaitacharya is himself Supreme Lord, he's Mahavishnu and Sadashiva in one personality, so most powerful person. Nevertheless, his followers were not all transcendental, and we can see that he had two kinds of disciples and followers. This is explained in the beginning of this chapter. One concoct their own ideas, and others stick to the principles taught by Advaita Acharya. And it is explained, also Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, not just Prabhupada, that those who deviated from the statement of their spiritual master, the guru, they're useless. Actually, not that they're just useless, they're harmful for everyone they encounter, because by many they can be accepted as bona fide. Yes. So we can see how important it is to first to surrender to Guru. Yes. Guru Padashraya Tasmat Krishna Diksha Dishikshana Vishrambena Guru Seva Sadhu Bhartmanu Bhartmanam. It is explained by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that this is first requirement to surrender to Guru and to accept Diksha and Shiksha from him. Yes. So this Ritvik idea is crazy. It's self-cheating. Because how can you accept a Guru? They are convinced that they are accepting a Guru, but who knows if they will be accepted by Guru? Of course not, if they concoct their own ideas how to surrender to Guru. There was not even one example that one would surrender to Guru like that. There is one example who is demoniac, and this was this. What is his name? Kalavya, who accepted Dronacharya as his spiritual master. Ekalavya. He accepted Drona as his spiritual master, but Drona didn't agree to be his spiritual master. So he formed a deity of Drona and worshipped him, and became a perfect archer by this, one can say. So this is the same mentality as Ritviks have in modern times. They make a deity of Prabhupada and worship him, but they are not accepted by Prabhupada. Who told them that they are accepted by Prabhupada? No, Prabhupada didn't tell them. So they worship him, and they may even become very powerful personalities by doing this, like Ekalavya became. But they will be punished as Ekalavya was punished. So everything he strived for, he was striving for, to become the most perfect archer in this world, was thwarted by his guru himself. Yes, by Dharma. So, first of all, we should be humble enough to accept some authority in life, not just some authority that has already left this world, personal presence from this world. Yes, this is easy to do, and it's self-cheating. So we should accept a bona fide spiritual master, as taught by Srila Prabhupada himself also. And every acharya, there is not one single example that any bona fide teacher would accept a guru like that. No. I can't think of one example. Can you think of one example like this? One would accept guru like this just by imagination. So yes, this is first requirement, to surrender to the spiritual master. And then surrender according to his teaching. First of all, we should understand who is bona fide spiritual master and who is not. Otherwise, we will be we'll put ourselves in the hand of some demon, maybe. And this is very easily done, because there are many demons that proclaim that they're Jagat Gurus. They're great spiritual masters of the universe, and they certainly have the ability to cheat innocent people. But these innocent people are actually lazy. They don't try to go deep in spiritual understanding. And therefore, this spiritual inquiry is first requirement. Yes, atato brahmajigasa. Now is the time to search for the absolute truth. And Jivasya Tattva Jigyasam explains in the beginning of Bhagvata, the second chapter of the first canto, that we live only to inquire. And in 4 verses of Bhagavatam, Chatu Shloki, for the basic verses, in second canto, it is explained there are Sambandha and the Prayojana verses, and the last one is a Vidya verse. And the Vidya verse that explains our process of attaining our goal, which is the love of Krishna, is explained etavateva jigyasam tattva jigyasana anvaya vyatirikavyam yatsyat sarvatra sarva. That we should inquire about absolute truth in all circumstances, directly and indirectly, at all times. Jai Shri Radha Parmeshwar ki Jai, Shri Gauranga ki Jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki Jai. So, this is first requirement, to inquire at all times. That means now, not tomorrow. Now. You should inquire now. Yes. So, inquiry means desiring to know. This is inquiry, isn't it? What else is inquiry as desiring to know? But desiring to know is not just theoretical knowledge, because if you know your husband or wife just theoretically, you actually don't know him or her, isn't it? Yes. So knowledge, true knowledge, is actually a deep, intimate relationship. So we should search for deep, intimate relationship with the Lord, because only deep, intimate relationship is true knowledge. Otherwise, we just miss the point. Yes. If we just try to understand theoretically passages of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or what Prabhupada is explaining, we'll miss the essence. And this is to establish loving relationship. Loving relationship is the essence. Yes. This is what we repeat every day, that by avoiding 10 offenses, we will quickly develop what? Krishna Prema. Yes. So, but if you just stay on the surface, on a theoretical understanding, Krishna Prema is extremely far away from us. Yes. So don't be satisfied with externals. This is also the teaching of Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita, as we know, when he discussed philosophy with Ramananda Rai Prabhu. He repeatedly said to him, go deeper. Even though he mentioned such verses as Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papabhyo Moksha Yishinivasha. Abandon all types of religion and just surrender them to me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Don't fear. He said, this is external. The final conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. This is external. Go deeper. Yes. So, we should understand. We shouldn't stay on the surface of our spiritual life. Otherwise, we will remain on the surface for endless lifetimes. Yes. Because Krishna wants just loving relationship. This is what he's interested in, not in theoretical knowledge. Of course, we need theoretical knowledge. We cannot go around it, because without theoretical knowledge we will not understand what is true love, not even try to understand. We'll be completely misguided from the very beginning. And this misguidance is described here. Jai Shri Radha Pradishwar ki Jai, Jai Shri Janata ki Jai, Jai Jagannath Subhadramai ki Jai. And this misunderstanding is explained here, because the disciples who didn't understand their spiritual master or Dvaitacharya, they developed their own concocted material understanding. And we can see, Srila Prabhupada, for example, he gave also some apparently contradictory statements in his books also. So, if we are not able to harmonize those statements in some special lila of the Lord, appearing and disappearing. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Radha Pradishwar ki Jai, Jagannath Subhadramai ki Jai, Shri Radha ki Jai. Yes, so the Lord is appearing and disappearing, but He should always be manifest in our heart. Yes, and we should be able to perceive Him also in other living entities. This is also very important instruction. Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmanika Vikastini Shri Cheva Shopakisha Panitak Samatashna. Pandita can see one Supreme Lord in every living entity, and so he sees every living entity on a spiritual platform. Yes. Even if he is of a low birth. Yes. So, therefore, we should go deep in the teaching of our spiritual master, teaching of Srila Prabhupada, that we don't understand just one statement and take it out of his other statements and blaspheme others who take this particular statement. Understand? And fight against each other, and both quoting the same authority. Yes. This happens on neophyte state very much. That one is fighting against another, quoting the same authority, who gives sometimes maybe also contradictory statements. Therefore, we should know Shastra very deeply, and also the teaching of our spiritual master very deeply, not just superficially. And don't judge until you are proficient. And when you are proficient, you'll prove your proficiency by being able to harmonize the contradictory statements. If you're not able to harmonize contradictory statements, you're still on a neophyte platform. You should understand this. The cockroach is still present, although these exterminators were here.
Resistance is very
Yes,
eager for Krishna
yes.
Katha.
So yes, he came to see, to accept the darshan of the Lord. Very special. So therefore, never be satisfied with externals. Never be satisfied with some particular understanding. Try to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Never stay on some external level of understanding. And try always to harmonize different statements. Try always to understand different statements, how they are harmonized in Krishna consciousness, especially if they come from the same source as Srila Prabhupada. Yes. So, other thing that is extremely important is obedience to the instruction of the spiritual master. In our lectures we spoke something about obedience, how important it is to be obedient, because only the obedient one is a servant. Otherwise, if we are not obedient, we are actually are keeping the mentality of being the master. Although we may bow down to even to the devotees and to Krishna, of course, but if you are not obedient, we are keeping the idea I'm a master, just I don't admit to myself, maybe, or even less to others. So being obedient is absolute necessity for a servant. And devotee is of course a servant. Not just a devotee, everyone is a servant. And actually everyone is completely obedient, but to different things. Atheists and gross materialists, they're completely obedient to the demands of their mind and bodies. Yes. Still, they are completely obedient. They cannot go around it because their very nature is to be a servant. Yes. All our nature, everyone's nature is to be a servant. So yes. So it's our choice whom we accept as master. And when we accept a bona fide master, then we should become completely obedient to a bona fide master. Yes. This is the requirement. This is the requirement. If we remain obedient to false masters, as our body and mind, and material authorities, then we are not able to become Krishna's servant. It's not we are not able to become Krishna's servant. It's not possible. Yes. Lord Jesus Christ explains that one can have only one master. One can't have two masters. Either one will follow and the other will despise. So if you follow any material master, even if this is just my body and mind, we cannot become a servant of Krishna. And Krishna also doesn't want to compete for our attention, our affection. So he will withdraw himself. Yes. He doesn't want to share this position of being a lover with anyone. So our material ideas, our material affections are our lovers. Our material desires are actually our lovers. We maintain them, we care for them, we nourish them. Yes. And therefore Lord don't want to be in the company of other lovers. He wants to be our exclusive lover. This is very important to understand. So, only by strict obedience to our spiritual master we can understand this. And this strict obedience is also to deeply understand the teaching of our spiritual master. For example, Srila Prabhupada wrote so many different books. And he wrote them not just to be glorified as great acharya or writer or translator or whatever, but he wrote them for us to understand spiritual topics, to understand our relationship with the Lord. So our duty is to study them. Yes, it's our foremost duty. To study these books. Prabhupada was not satisfied when he learned that his devotees are distributing his books but don't read them. Yes. So yes, we should understand them thoroughly, these books, because they are meant for our benefit. Meant for our benefit. And he sacrificed his life for these books, for us to understand them. And yes, immediately when we lack of proper understanding, there is opportunity for deviation. Yes. And because we have material understanding, because we don't go deep in spiritual understanding, so we are staying on the surface of spiritual understanding, and therefore we see so many contradictory statements and we don't harmonize them, and therefore we develop our own philosophy, which is based on only particular statements of our Guru, and we completely ignore other statements. And we develop our philosophy, and we are extremely antagonistic against everyone who is not following our philosophy. Yes. And we try to destroy them. And schisms, as Prabhupada mentioned, comes into existence like this. Yes. We can see, if we don't follow religiously, we can say, instructions of our spiritual master, there will be schism. For example, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that they should stick together and form a GBC, but they didn't. Everyone try to prove that I'm the Acharya, the next Acharya. And they split. And even before, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was still alive, they were fighting over which room will one occupy in a certain temple. Yes. And Bhaktisiddhanta was extremely disgusted by this. And he said he considered that he would sell everything and print books with this money. Yes. So it's extremely important to understand the mission and the teaching of our spiritual master, and not just our spiritual master. We should harmonize the statements of our spiritual master with the statements of other acharyas. And of course, Srimad Bhagvata and all these basic Shastra. Yes. Especially Srimad Bhagavatam, especially Chaitanya Charitamrita, and especially Bhagavad Gita. These three books are the basis, and because we are followers of Rupa Goswami, Rupa Nugas, so we should also thoroughly understand the nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction, and the books written by the Goswamis from Vrindavan. Yes. Prabhupada mentions in one of the purports in Chaitanya Charitamrita that there are some devotees who think that they don't need to study the books of our acharyas, and they are false devotees. Yes, they are false devotees. So, proper understanding is crucial, but not understanding on the surface, not just theoretical knowledge, but true understanding of the message of all acharyas. Yes. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment?
Yes, I have a question. Thank you so much. I was reflecting on this topic of going deeper in our practice.
Yes.
Feel like, especially I'm talking about myself,
I can't hear
I
you very
feel
well.
that when we are like beginners in spiritual practice,
Yes.
we are so inspired by others and we really want to do things correctly, but the time passes and the more time goes by, the more we become, like yesterday we discussed ritualistic. Yeah, I have did my rounds,
Yes.
I did my seva, I have completed my readings, and then we don't even realize, but we are just going away from this, going deeper and deeper, just being on the surface level, just putting the tick mark on what we should do, very mechanical and ritualistic.
Yes.
So I understand how it's essential to go deeper in our spiritual practice. And do you have some practical tips to give to us how we can, in everyday life, in every activity, we can go deeper and deeper?
Yes. It's very important. First, of course, you should try to find the association who tries to go deep, and try to be also such association for others. This is also important, that we feel some responsibility for others also, because we are not alone, so others will be affected by our example. So this is very good meditation, that I'm responsible for others also by my behavior, by my approach and attitude towards devotional service. And of course, therefore, Shravanam is first requirement in spiritual life, that we hear from pure devotees, from those who inspire us to go deeper in our relationship with the Lord. This is required. absolutely required. And then one tip is that whatever service we have, from very menial services to most advanced services, we can say, uh, we can meditate before we start this particular service, that I'm just a servant, that I perform this service because of the mercy of my spiritual master and Prabhupada and Radha Parisishwara. And I'm just their servant. They engaged me somehow or other by their great mercy in this particular service. So I perform this service for their pleasure. If I consciously maintain this mentality, this way of thinking, that I will start to go deeper in my relationship. Then I will not see just deities of Radha Parisishvara, but I will try to see them with my spiritual eyes in their pastimes. Yes, and that I am their servant in performing their pastimes. And I'm also the servant of my Guru, who is most intimate servant of Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. We sing like this every day, every morning. I bow down to such a Guru, who is most intimate servant of Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. And I'm of course assistant of my Guru. So this should be our meditation. If it's not spontaneous meditation, it should be conscious meditation. Yes, because this is practice. Spontaneous meditation will be when we are perfect, when we go beyond our material desires. Even on the level of ruchi, it is explained. The level of ruchi is, of course, a very elevated platform of taste, of deep taste for spiritual life. Still, mind goes on its own. We don't even perceive it to material things. Only on the level of asakti, great attachment, mind goes on its own to Krishna, even when we don't perceive it. We try to think of material things, but somehow or other, we don't even perceive mind start to think of Krishna again, on level of asakti. But we can't get to the level of asakti without ruchi, without taste. And we will not develop any taste without nishta, without being fixed in devotional service, in our service, to be absorbed in our service. If you are not absorbed, you can't taste anything. And we have this experience. We can't taste food if we think of other things. If we are absorbed if we are worried about something, and we think deeply of something else, and then we eat at the same time. I believe everyone has this experience. We don't taste anything. We realize suddenly that we have finished, but we didn't taste anything. So it's the same in spiritual life. If we are not absorbed in what we are doing, we will not taste anything. There is no question of ruchi possible. Yes. But to be able to be fixed, we have to go beyond anarthas. Yes. Yes, this is required. And anarthas can be removed only by service. When Krishna is pleased, by service attitude. So this should be our conscious endeavor to consciously meditate like this and performing service and praying for this, that I can enter a relationship with the Lord. It's not something ordinary. It's very special. Yesterday we spoke that in Paris there are 11 million people and only 100 plus devotees could chant 16 rounds, at least. And then I was thinking, how many of these 100 plus devotees are French citizens?
Very few.
Very few.
Yeah.
How many? 50?
I think like maybe less, no?
Mhm.
Even less.
Even less than
Yeah,
50?
for like friendship reasons. maybe.
10.
10?
20,
20?
you get your devotee.
Okay, 20. From 11 million.
11 from 11 million.
If we really talk about French, I don't think there is any.
Sorry?
If we speak about French,
The French citizens.
yes.
Okay.
Born in France.
Hare Krishna. So you see, this is extremely rare. So we should go for the most rare. Yes. I believe there are less devotees than people in France that went to the top of Mount Everest. I don't know. It's just a guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but still, you should understand this is most rare. You should you shouldn't take it cheaply. This association of devotees, and from those that they're really serious to go deep in their relationship with Krishna is even more rare. Manushanam savasashu kashchit yatatammaphi siddhanam kashchima bhikita. Krishna explains in 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's most rare. So, yes. I broadened the topic a little bit, but still, you should understand that this should be a heartfelt desire to deepen our relationship. We shouldn't stay on the surface. We shouldn't become ritualistic. Or if we catch ourselves that we are becoming ritualistic, we should be extremely afraid of this state of consciousness, because it's Maya, actually. Maya's trick, Maya's most powerful trick, to steal away our consciousness and we do something mechanical. Yes. And then just the shell remains and nothing inside. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes, please.
At the beginning you mentioned how Sri Advaita Acharya is a combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva.
Yes.
So, because Shiva Tadva is very particular topic, I wanted just to have a better understanding about the different forms, manifestations of Shiva, be it Sadashiva, Vishwa Mahadev, and so on, what is their function and how to relate to them.
Sadashiva is actually Vishnu. And his abode is spiritual world. But he is in the role of a devotee. Yes, because Shiva is always a devotee of Vishnu. And Shiva in material world is transformation of Vishnu, like Shastra explains, milk and yogurt, practically the same substance, but with different properties and act differently. Milk and yogurt. So Shiva is in contact with material nature, and Vishnu is not. And when he glances, Vishnu glances over material nature, this glance which comes to in contact with material nature is Lord Shiva. So his Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, the foremost of Vaishnavas. So we know by the blessings of Vaishnavas we can establish relationship with Krishna. So he's protector of bhakti. So Gopishwar Mahadev is therefore one who protects the holy Dham from intruders. No one can enter Vrindavan without his mercy. So Acharyas took shelter of Gopishwar Mahadev to be able to enter Vrindavan. Therefore, we take shelter of our spiritual masters and our acharyas, who take shelter also of Gopishwar Mahadev with this prayerful mood. So we are also counted of those who take shelter of Gopishwar Mahadev to be allowed to serve Radha and Krishna. Because he's the one who protects and also teaches the principles of bhakti. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, you mentioned an important point when he said that really one can only accept one master.
Yes.
And then, can you help us harmonize this in, when Srila Prabhupada says that there are unlimited Siksa gurus, and he even says in the Adi Lila that one who sees a difference between a Shiksha and a Diksha guru, he commits an offense.
Yes.
So how is it coming together, these two things?
Yes. As you said just now, if you see difference, you commit an offense. And he explains in one prayer, I think to Bhaktisiddhanta, that Guru is one. Guru is only one. And this is Krishna. Guru is Krishna. Acharya mam vijanina, navanmanyeta karshana, namartya buddhya sueta, sarvadeva moyo guru. Krishna explains, I am the Acharya. I am Guru. But he comes in contact to us through his pure devotees and empowered personalities. So, yes, Guru is one. There is no difference between Shiksha and Diksha and Varma Pradarshaka Guru. And we know from Bhagvata, some Brahmana who had 24 gurus, and there were some animals, a dove, a bee, a young maiden, a prostitute, so many different gurus. But we should know that this guru is one. This guru is one, this Krishna is teaching us through different things, and we should also try to see Krishna's teachings in everything that surrounds us. We can be taught positively or negatively all the time what is the essence if we accept the teaching of our Supreme Guru, who is Krishna. And of course, but we shouldn't jump over our Guru because this is Krishna's system, and Krishna established this system just to become humble. Because if we are not willing to submit ourselves to the wish of our Guru, we're not able to develop humility. It's not possible. Otherwise, we'll always think, yes, I'm the chosen one. I have direct contact with Krishna. and so everyone should obey me. This is the mentality of conditioned living entity. This was the mentality of King Vena, for example, a demon. Yes. You don't know the Shastra when Brahmanas came to him, don't stop sacrifices. You don't know the Shastras. King is a representative of all demigods. You should worship me. Yes. This is the mentality. King is the representative of Krishna. And this is all shastrically based statements. But Brahmanas understood that this is a demon and they killed him. So we should not twist statements of acharyas or shastras to serve our egoistic and puffed up consciousness, but we should willingly accept the instruction and the superiority of our spiritual masters and be grateful for everyone who can help us come nearer to the Lord. And this can be everything, as I explained. You can learn even from this cockroach. I don't know if you have seen. Before you came, there was a cockroach here. So we can learn a lesson from a cockroach also, and be grateful for Krishna to send him here. So yes, we should see that there is no difference between one guru or another, because every teaching is Krishna's teaching. Yes. Of course, we can be able to perceive if some person gives us some wrong instructions or wrong philosophy. Therefore, we should study scriptures. Not for us to be learned, but to understand what is pleasing to Krishna and what's not. This is the purpose of study. And of course, Krishna Katha, study is also Krishna Katha, is one of the most prominent forms of devotional service. It's Shravana and Kirtan. This answers your question.
It's a very deep, but you had it some good points, yeah. Thank you. Means we cannot summarize right so easily.
Sorry?
We cannot summarize so easily, I think.
Yes, we should understand that Krishna is acting in a way that he will lead us towards him if we are willing to accept his principles, his way. We shouldn't sing, I did it my way. This is fun. That was one famous song. I did it my way. We shouldn't do it our way. We should Krishna's way. Okay. Hare Krishna. Nataraj Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.